I have a 14-year-old son with severe autism as well as intellectual disability. He also has gross and fine motor delays, just overall pretty low functioning for his age. Nathan requires 24/7 care. He cannot use the restroom by himself. He can't bathe himself. He can't brush his own teeth, comb his own hair, any of that. So he requires 24/7 care. And we applied for waiver services. It was 7 years ago in December, and we've been on that waiting list since then. Oh, it would change our lives. Our lives have changed a lot over the past few years because of Nathan's needs. I used to work full-time. I'm a licensed insurance agent. I had to leave that job, and I took a job where I could work from home. So I could be more accessible to Nathan. So with that came a pay cut, and then about a year after I started working from home, at that time I was still working full-time, but then I realized that I couldn't even leave untrained caregivers with Nathan after school for an hour. So I cut my hours back, and I now just work part-time so that I'm able to be there for him from the time he gets home from school until he goes back the next day. My husband and I get absolutely no alone time. Every bit of our day is spent taking care of Nathan or working. So we don't have extracurricular activities. We don't have hobbies. The stress of taking care of a child 24/7 really does a lot to somebody's marriage. So, I mean, it could truly give us our life back just to be able to have a trained caregiver help us with Nathan with his daily activities so that we're not completely confined to 24/7 caregiving. It would also make Nathan more independent. We're not able to take him places with us if we're alone because he has such severe anxiety. He sometimes goes into flight panic mode. And if you're alone out in public with him, that's very difficult to handle. So it really takes two people to be able to take him anywhere. And he loves going places. So it's very unfair to him that, you know, we're not able to take him on family outings, family and friends' houses. We don't go on vacations. So being able to have a trained caregiver that would be paid for, be trained, how to handle our son's needs would be a huge stress relief, as well as give us more time together as family because we're not so worried about just taking care of his needs. And then hopefully I could return to working full-time so we could get caught up on bills. As you can imagine, when you take a job that makes a lot less money, you still have the same amount of bills, so you just get further and further behind on everything. So it would really be life-changing for our family. I don't want to institutionalize Nathan because Nathan is a very happy person in his own community. He has developed bonds with his school personnel, with family members, and I feel like institutionalizing him would take him away from that setting, and that's not fair to him. Nathan is also very attached to his mom and dad, and I just know that not living at home with his family would be extremely devastating for him. I truly believe that we can take care of him within his own community with the proper supports in place. Waiver services would help allow us to go back to church because we could have a trained caregiver go with us, and that caregiver could be the one that watches Nathan while we attend church services, or if for some reason Nathan would rather stay home, we could have a caregiver that would watch him so that we could both go together as husband and wife. I feel like if we had a caregiver that could attend church with us, Nathan would get a lot of enjoyment out of that because he does like to socialize. He likes to be around people. Sometimes it's just very difficult for him, and he needs to be taken, you know, to an area where he can have some quiet time for a little while.
Okay.
And one of the other reasons why I'm fighting so hard for community services is because I don't want my son I don't want my older son to have the responsibility of being a 24/7 caregiver for his brother. That's not fair to him. It's not fair to his wife. And if something happened to my husband and I today, that's exactly what would happen. My son would be put in a position of having to institutionalize his brother or put his life on hold to care for his brother. Sorry.